Politics in video games. For some reason that phrase recently has a way of polluting the atmosphere of the discourse quicker than the officiant at a wedding calling the bride a cunt. You remember Barack Obama, he was the guy that played up front for America a few years ago before that big daft bastard they've got there now. He follows me on Twitter, and somehow that's not a joke. Well, whatever you think about the former president, I literally couldn't care less, but what I do care about is video games. 10,000 years ago in 2008, during Big Banter Obama's campaign for the Big White Gaff, a lot of his appeal came from the way his campaign managed to reach out to young voters using the internet, who was the first presidential candidate to harness the power of social media in order to spread awareness about his campaign and inform voters. He even created his own social networking platform, my.barackobama.com, which, while it didn't outlive Bebo, it still marks a monumental change in the way that presidential candidates appealed for votes. His use of branding and marketing, like Shepard Fairley's famous Hope poster, even got a 13-year-old me to buy one from the scabby old HMV in Braehead and shoddily blue tack it to my walls. Now, if a political campaign can reach me, a sweaty, barely pubescent 13-year-old wee prick, despite me having zero impact on said election, it's probably pretty successful. Despite my political knowledge at the time being akin to a first-year modern studies textbook with most of the pages missing. What else was landmark for the Obama campaign was their use of video games. Politics in video games. For some reason that phrase recently has a way of polluting the atmosphere of the discourse quicker than the officiant at a wedding calling the bride a cunt. However, back in prehistoric 2008, the Obama campaign, in an attempt to use avenues of advertising that traditional candidates had not, turned to games. Barack Obama became the first presidential candidate in history to use advertisements in a video game. Throughout the final few weeks of the ultimately successful campaign, Obama's team placed billboards displaying his Vote for Change website, a reminder about early voting, and a big smiley picture of the drone merchant himself. These ads were placed across a variety of games, all from EA. Madden 09, Need for Speed Carbon, NASCAR 09, NHL 09, NBA Live 08, My Beloved Skate, and most widely publicised Burnout Paradise. Obama's campaign paid a cool $45k for the placement to Microsoft's Massive Entertainment, which is why the ads only appeared in the Xbox version of the games. When compared to the $205 million he spent on TV ads, it's not a lot, but it proved to be a key difference between him and his opponent, knockoff Die-Hard protagonist John McCain. The McCain campaign was also offered placement, but they denied it, presumably because Sarah Palin thought Paradise City was a real place with a liberal agenda. It's funny now to go back and read the retro version of Our Games Aren't Political. In a GameSpot article from the time, an EA representative is quoted as saying, "Political advertising does not reflect the opinions or policies of EA or its developers." Although then EA top dog John Riccitiello did throw $4,600 into the Obama campaign coffers, which in terms of percentage of expenditure compared to wealth is a bit like when you get 20 pence change back at the bar and you end up dropping it. But instead of bending down, you just walk away because you can't be bothered. Interestingly, they were only placed in 10 key swing states: Colorado, Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Montana, North Carolina, New Mexico, Nevada, Ohio, and Wisconsin. These states were all won by Will Ferrell in 2004, but with Obama's targeting of the worst class of people, gamers, he ended up winning almost all of them. What makes this an interesting piece of gaming history beyond its significance as a political first is the ephemeral nature of it. The ads only lasted from October 6th until November 3rd and appeared in less than 10% of the US, and now the only remnants of it are the news bulletins starring cartoon anchors wanking themselves silly over Obama. Even though it was a decade ago, I'm really not surprised we've not seen anything like that since. In the modern gaming climate, developers are forced to look like morons by saying that a game featuring a playable child soldier isn't political. I mean, can you imagine how that lot would have reacted to Hillary Clinton erecting a Gundam-sized poster of herself in Watch Dogs 2? I think developers would genuinely be in danger, and that's a ridiculous thing to say, but think of the people that basically burst into tears at the idea of a game being Epic exclusive, and you'll see that we're not actually that far away from it. Disconnected from politics, in-game advertising has only gotten more prevalent. As the explosion of open world games happened in the 360 generation, plenty of companies saw this as an opportunity to plaster horribly compressed versions of their logos across every inch of them. My personal favourite being Subway's promotion with Uncharted 3, allowing you to satisfy Nathan Drake's appetite between genocides. I think it's only a matter of time before we see another renaissance of real companies pushing their products in games. The simple fact is, these campaigns make money for the developers, And since the currently in vogue model of loot crates and microtransactions has been soured to an almost literally illegal state, don't think these companies don't have a backup plan for when the last ever FIFA pack has been opened. Gaming and politics have almost never had a worse relationship. Currently in August 2019, in the wake of another tragic mass shooting in America, Trump is currently producing an HD remaster of the violent video games argument that's been debunked a million times. This only comes months after his tariffs motivated a letter from the joint heads of Sony, Microsoft and Nintendo condemning what it would do to the games industry in the US, a move only a truly incompetent prick could inspire. Huge companies like Walmart are rushing to take down any advertisements for violent video games, while continuing to sell the thing those violent video games virtually depict in a very non-virtual fashion just down the aisle. So while it's currently unlikely that Obama's innovative approach to reaching voters will be replicated soon, it's worth remembering as a moment where the wider world saw, for one of the first times, the mass reach of video games in the age of constant connection and how it could be used to spread a message. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to call me an SJW if you want in the comments, but I live in the soon-to-be People's Independent Republic of Scotland, so your petty American red versus blue debates mean nothing to a higher yellow power such as myself. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and join the Anti-Gamer Gamer Club. But until next time, I'm Jordan Midler. See you later.